Hey guys, it's April from The Simple Rugged Path, and today's video is about Funschooling. If you've been around our channel, you know we have done a few giveaways of the Thinking Tree journals, and that also back in September we made a switch in our school curriculum from what we have used before. And one of those switches was to these Thinking Tree journals for a majority of our curriculum. There are some things that we use that aren't Thinking Tree for math and for writing, and I plan on discussing those or sharing those with you in future videos. But today I wanted to show you how we teach geography using our Thinking Tree journals and a few other supplements. I think what I'm going to do is turn the camera around so you can see the book and I can flip through them and kind of explain to you how we use them. But before I flip them around, I will let you know that we have a 5th grader and an 8th grader that will be using a bulk of what I show you. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you some books that we use with Jeremiah, who is kind of preschool, early kindergarten age. Just kind of give you a general idea of the ages and grades that we're working with here when you see what we are using. Okay, so this one right here, the Travel Dreams Geography 7 Amazing Continents, is our main book that we use. And so as it says, World Geography and Social Studies. And then occasionally we will add in this one, the Travel Dreams Funschooling Journal, which features 30 fascinating cities. And I'll tell you how we add this in just a second. I think I've done a walkthrough before this, but I'll just show you real quick and explain to you what we do. Because the last time I did a walkthrough was just after we bought it and I hadn't quite figured out what I was going to do with this book yet. But now that we've had it and we've used it for, well, since September, we've really kind of found our groove and what we like to do in it. Okay, the continents are listed in here in alphabetical order. Now, we did not, obviously, you see this page is blank, do them in this order. This is actually the one we are getting into now that we've returned from winter break. But as you can see right here, you can find it on the map, or on the globe in the picture. And then we will pull out our globe, which we ended up having to buy a new one for the school year because our old one broke. So I'll put a link in the description box below where we found it, and I'll show you it. It's really nice. And then we will look at this on the globe, and then we'll pull out one of our atlas books and also look it up in an atlas book. And then we also have a world map hanging on our wall, so we'll also find it on the world map. So they kind of get used to using all of those resources and where all these things are located on all 3 different resources. Right here, you're going to look up different facts about Africa. And so we try to use library books for this. Probably about 2 weeks before we start a new continent, I will go on our library website and look up and reserve several books. And I try to reserve several nonfiction travel books, and then I try to reserve picture books and chapter books that take place in a country on that continent as well for our read aloud time. And then down here I have them circle where I have them circle where the continent is located on here as well. It says find in color. If they have dark enough markers, they'll color them in as well. But we get all these facts. Lately it's been hit or miss with some of our library books on how updated they are, so we'll also look up on the internet as well. Now they have several pages of World Wonder Search, and where you look up some different world wonder where you look up different world wonders in that on that continent, and then you look up interesting facts, and then they can illustrate it down here. And we use YouTube a lot for this one, just looking them up and getting to kind of see what they look like without having to travel there. That's one of the really cool things about YouTube. And then I will also look up books at the library for this as well as ahead of time, and then we will usually try to find a visitor's website or a travel website to make sure we're getting correct information about these world wonders. Now here you're going to study the animals, and they have several animals here, and then you can list 14 animals, and then you can draw some down here. I'll show you real quick what we have loved using for this is the Animal Planet Animal Atlas. Now this is obviously for younger ages, but this gets us a good start. Turn to Africa in here. Oops. Okay, so this is kind of the layout of this book, and in here it tells you different animals that you're going to find, I'm sorry for the glare, in different areas of Africa. So here are animals that you would find in the desert, and then there's facts on them. So they will go through and pick out some of their favorite ones or the most interesting ones and list them on here. And then what I have them do is they'll pick their 2 favorite or 3 out of this list, and then we'll see if the library has any books on those animals specifically, so they can kind of research and study a little bit more. So then we tie in our zoology studying. Here you're going to list all the countries in Africa, and then you're going to take the corresponding number and write it over here. And one thing that we like to use and tie in with this is this game that we actually got from my father's world. And what it was is you have all the maps of the different continents, and then it came out with printouts of the different countries on that continent. And then so we'll use this to help fill out this page, but then we'll also find the continent that we're working on that week or 2 weeks. It depends. Some continents we spend a little more time on, and we'll play a game where I'll flip these over and they got to guess which number that country is, and that's really fun. They actually really enjoy that. Now here is where would you like to go in Africa? Why do you want to go there? What is the climate like? A unique fact and illustrate something. This is where we use like a visitor's bureau page or something on the internet for that. And of course a couple of travel books from the library. Here we try to find a movie that takes place or is based on something that happens on that continent. And then here's where you tie in a book that you have picked out based on that. And then they can write a story, so you get a little bit of writing in. And then we love looking up different music from that continent and exploring it. Now, we also tie in the travel dreams. Now this only features different cities. So what I will do is I'll say, okay, we're getting ready to go to the continent of Africa. So I'll scroll down here and find a country that is from Africa, or in Africa. All right, so we have Cape Town in South Africa. And so here they can rate the continent. So then also ahead of time, I'll look at what cities in here are part of the continent that we're studying, and then also look up on the library website for some books specifically about that city. And then we'll also use a travel website for this information. We'll look up popular foods. They'll draw the flag. If it's a really detailed flag, I'll let them print it out and glue it there. Historic events, famous landmark, quote or proverb from that area, traditional clothing, things to know when you travel there, what you'd want to see, what you want to do. Here they can research and write about a historic event that happened there. Then we can look up a recipe, and that's really fun to prepare a recipe from that area. And then here they get to write out a step-by-step food guide, and then draw the traditional costume from that area. So that's how we tie in that book with our geography studies. So real quick, I'm going to show you a couple other things that we use in our geography studies. Here's maps and globes, and this we did back in September, and this is just a real basic book explaining how to use maps. We did about a 2 to 3 week study just on reading maps and globes, and then different landforms and stuff like that before we actually jumped into learning the continents and the countries. Here's a fun little book that I found at Barnes & Noble one day. Michaela loves these National Geographic kids books with all the facts in them. And so when we are studying a continent, all right, so see you here in the table of contents, we have Africa. So we will, throughout the week, we'll throw this in our morning basket, and throughout the week we will look at all these different pages that are about Africa. So page 162 is where we start with Africa in this book. So there it is. And so this is really great. If I have time, I will sit and we'll read through it and discuss some of the interesting facts that we find. But it's also easy enough that they can read it on their own, and then later I can ask them, what did you learn from that page? At the end of the school year, after we finish all of our continents, I will do a week or two on our seas and ocean. And this also works great for us too, because we are studying zoology with our science. So we found lots of really great ways to tie our geography and zoology studies together. Here's another great book from Usborne Books and More. This is the Usborne Geography Encyclopedia with a complete world atlas. So again, we can turn to, here's basic geography, people of the world. We can study different cultures. So we can find the section that kind of pertains to what we're studying in our zoology lesson at the time, and then also what continent we are studying at the time. So, and then the neat thing about these Usborne Quick Link books is you get a code and you can go online and look up even more interesting things. But this has a really nice atlas in the back and a description of what an atlas is. I actually got, this book came in my kit when I became an Usborne Books and More consultant. But there's Africa in the back of this one. This has really great pictures in it. These next two books, this one I picked up at a used book sale. But here's just another way that we can get some more facts that may not be in our other books. So we interchanged these different atlas books in our morning basket, and we found it kind of interesting that some of them have different conflicting information we found when we were studying North America. I can't remember what it was now, but I remember this book and one of the other atlas books had some conflicting facts. But this one's really neat because we got all these little things through here. This is Southern Asia. But little side facts and then something at the top to read. So again, just something else we can add in and just kind of leave laying out, and when they feel like it, they can open up. And this is the Children's Atlas of God's World. I believe this came from Master Books. This only goes through a few countries. This doesn't cover a whole lot. So, like, we will look for Africa here. Africa's on page 50. So in this book, as far as Africa is concerned, it only covers Kenya, Egypt, and South Africa. So just a nice little supplement to add in. This is also a great addition to your geography study. It's Window on the World, and basically it shows you how to pray for different countries. You can see what they believe. And then there's, let's see if I can find Africa in here for you, since that's what we seem to have started talking about at the very beginning of this video. Oh yeah, I can't find Africa. These are divided by countries, not continents. So we'll go to Egypt. So you have fun little facts. There's usually a story about someone in Egypt, things you can praise God for, and things you can pray about. So that's a neat little addition to your Bible study time that still also ties in what you're learning in geography. Two other games that we have found that we really like to use in our geography study are these Professor Noggins games. And this one is Geography of the United States, and this one's Countries of the World. I'll show you real quick what you do. So, like, I would roll the dice, and let's say I get the number 3. So, I would, I would pull out a card. The top one right now is China. And then we decide ahead of time if we're doing the easy section or the hard section. But I would read question number 3 to the person on my right. It says, I share the world's tallest mountain with Nepal. What is it called? And over here you have all the answers. So if the person gets it right, they get to keep that card. And then at the end of the game, the person with the most cards wins. Real quick, how I tie in, or how I include Jeremiah in our studies. Usborne Books and More. Again, awesome books. Here are 3 books that I can read with him and go over with him and then show him the map and the globe so he can be kind of a part of our school time. And then we can always tie in crafts and stuff. That's another thing I do with our geography. At the end of studying a continent, we will prepare a meal from that continent, and then we will do an art craft from that continent. And so Jeremiah is included in that. But here is a book just kind of about our world and what's around us and things near us. And then we're studying all the different habitats. I love the pictures in the Usborne book. So this one is our world. Then we have the big picture atlas. So even the girls like to look at this one because it's got fun little pictures throughout. So that's all this is. It's just a big old picture atlas, like it says on the title. But it's fun to look through. And then there's all the flags. So there we can refer to for our thinking tree journal all the different flags that we need to draw. And then the last one is another picture atlas by Usborne Books and More. But you can see the difference here. The other one is a map with pictures on it. This one has little facts and then little pictures, illustrations to go along with them. So that is how Jeremiah is included in our geography time. And then also behind us are our two maps. We bought both of these through My Father's World when we were doing that. And then we eventually got them laminated, which is really, really nice because we can write on them with our dry erase markers. And then over here you see things stuck to them. I'll tell you what those are when we discuss how we teach zoology. And real quick, I'll show you my globe. I'm going to try to put links to as many of these things as I can in the description box below. So if any of these interest you, you can find them. Some of them will be Amazon links. Some of them will not be. The Amazon links are affiliate links, but those do not cost you anything extra to click on, but it does help our family out, so we thank you ahead of time. That's it. But if you have any questions about what you saw, please, please, please ask me in the comments below. Let me know if you have any other questions about Thinking Tree books or our homeschooling journey, as we've made a lot of changes this year. Real quick, I'll show you that globe, but like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I got the hiccups now, so I should probably end this video. I've been sneezing, I've got the hiccups. Yeah, so let me show you the globe real fast. I really, really like it. So there is our world globe. You can twist it. We do school in the dining room, so just so you know. So there you have it. There is our globe. We have to put it up high. Jeremiah likes to play with it. And so do the cats. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Like, subscribe. Talk to me in the comments below about what you use for geography, or if you have any questions about Thinking Tree or any of the products that I shared. And we'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching The Simple Rugged Path. And JJ says, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little bell icon so you'll be notified when we release new videos. Thanks again for watching The Simple Rugged Path, and we'll see you next time.